Dude, I'm telling you, bro, brand new COD, this is the one, bro. They know what they're doing, man. They've learned from their mistakes. The new COD is going to be riddled with glitches and cheaters when it launches, and it'll take them months to even fix one issue. But guess what? The gunplay is still going to be good, and people are going to be over the mobility that you mentally abused players are going to fall for it, and you're going to keep playing it and keep playing it, and then they're going to come up with some more Attack on Titan skins. You guys are going to pants over those, keep playing the game, and then guess what, dude? The trailer's coming out for the next one. Bro, this is it, dude.
Alright, so the game has been out on all platforms for a little while now, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the state of the game at launch, what the game does well, what changes Sledgehammer still needs to make, and ultimately, is the game worth buying if you're a 6v6 multiplayer fan? Starting off, I want to talk about the overall basic functionality of the game, and I'm going to give Call of Duty props here and say compared to years past, launch has actually gone pretty well. The game is actually playable on day one instead of having to wait a week for bugs to get fixed. It seems like every year there are always issues that just shouldn't happen with the AAA franchise. Friends not showing up online, party invites not working, weapons or animations not working, or flat out crashing when trying to play the game. Now, some people have reported an issue with TaxPort not working consistently, as well as a few bugs in Outbreak, but overall the core functions on launch seem to be working much better than years past. Need I remind you of how Modern Warfare 2019 launched?
Careful. Oh, hell yeah. That's great.
First, let's go over the core gameplay, maps, modes, and weapons. Overall, the gameplay is pretty well, and it's much closer to that arcade-style feel that made the franchise famous. No doubt there will always be campers in Call of Duty, but this game doesn't feel like it only caters to that playstyle or forces you to camp. You can definitely run and gun, however, some of the maps play a little bit weird because of how many spots you can now climb. This leads to a lot of deaths where someone picks you off from across the map from an angle you couldn't possibly have checked. Honestly, it just exposes how bad some of these maps were back in the day, but everyone's rose-colored glasses makes them member.
Wait, what?
And think that all the maps were great in the original Modern Warfare 2. Honestly, a good chunk of these maps play just like the safe space BS that we all hated in Modern Warfare 2019. And sometimes I still feel like I'm playing a reskin version of Piccadilly. So if you're a more aggressive player, then I recommend paying close attention and learning the common areas you need to check when pushing. You'll also need to pace yourself and know when you need to slow down and look both ways before crossing the road. If you're looking for a game where you can just hold the W key or left stick, I don't think this game is for you. Unless you don't care about your KD, in which case, run and gun to your heart's content. When it comes to game balance, I'm happy to say that at this point in the game's life cycle, I haven't seen any broken equipment or spamming of anything like Thermites and Vanguard or the Claymores in Modern Warfare 2019. For a Call of Duty launch, the weapon balance isn't terrible, even with the Modern Warfare 22 weapons coming over. However, assault rifles are pretty much the only viable option right now, and SMGs are very underwhelming. The only time that you really benefit from using an SMG is if you're inside of like maybe 5 feet. Other than that, assault rifles completely dominate. Not to mention, if you're trying to grind the brand new Modern Warfare 3 weapons, you have to go up against people that have fully kitted weapons from the last game. And if I'm being honest, I'm a little upset that they're bringing over the weapons from Modern Warfare 22, especially at launch. I think I'd be more okay with it if they waited until at least Season 1 so we all had a chance to grind the new weapons in the game without having to deal with other players that have fully leveled up weapons. If I had my pick, I'd probably take a handful of the fan favorites from Modern Warfare 22 and ditch the rest. But we all know that's not happening because they want to sell those sweet microtransactions. Jumping into weapons in the Gunsmith, I'm ecstatic to see that they've done away with weapon tuning from Modern Warfare 22. Now I understand the concept behind weapon tuning, but the Gunsmith already offers so much flexibility, and weapon tuning just adds a ton of fluff. I'm all for customization, but at some point you need to strike a balance between options and simplicity. I personally think the Pick 10 was perfect, but that's a topic for another video. The Gunsmith does have one major issue though. Attachments are unlocked via the daily challenges instead of a linear progression system. I'm personally not a big fan of this change, but I can make do. The bigger issue is that many people are reporting the challenges aren't tracking properly, meaning that you hit a plateau and you can't unlock more attachments for the weapon you're currently grinding. This is a bummer because one of the best parts of a new Call of Duty game is having things to grind for. However, Call of Duty has always had issues with challenges tracking properly, properly, so it's no surprise here. It's just a little sad that the daily challenges are now tied to your weapon and player progression instead of earning experience and cosmetics. If you're one of the people trying to grind the new weapons and unlock attachments in Modern Warfare 3, not only are you going up against a broken unlock system, but you also have to go up against people with fully maxed out Modern Warfare 22 weapons. I'd also like to take a moment and say that the Gunsmith UI is still awful. I know I'm biased, but as much as I prefer the Pick 10 over the Gunsmith, Cold War's Gunsmith layout was perfect. I don't have high hopes that this will ever change, but I just wanted to mention it. The weapon camos and challenges for them are actually fantastic this year. Each weapon gets its own unique camos to grind, and they're not needlessly tedious or encourage poor gameplay. For example, long shots or mounted kills. So shout out to Sledgehammer for the camo grind this year. Next, I want to jump into things that need to be improved, and if Sledgehammer polishes Modern Warfare 3 up, we could be in for one of the best Call of Duty games in a long time. Now, I know people say that every year, but I'm not one of those people that shills Call of Duty. I skipped the last two, I didn't buy them or play them, and that's just my honest opinion for the game this year. But before we jump into the issues that Sledgehammer needs to fix, I want to take a moment and mention today's sponsor, myself. If you want to support the channel, head over to my website and check out a few of the t-shirts I've got for sale. If you're one of the few remaining mouse and keyboard players, join the Arm Assist Army, and if you're a controller player, check out the Keyboards Are for Email shirt. If you want to support the channel for free, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. Jumping into what Sledgehammer needs to fix to make this game a banger, the TTK and hit registration need to be tweaked or smoothed out. It could just be a server issue that resolves itself over time, but there are a lot of moments where you die in what feels like one bullet, but when you watch the kill cam back, you're getting sprayed down with an SMG. For a game that's supposed to have a longer time to kill, dying almost instantly feels terrible. I think they really need to take a look at nerfing the meta weapons to bring the TTK down to what it was supposed to be. There's also a chance that it could be how strong the headshot multiplier is, and I'm all for rewarding accuracy in shooter games, but not to the point where it cuts the time to kill in half. Right now, it just feels inconsistent and a little bit too quick with some of the meta weapons. The rest of the guns can't even compete. And before you head to the comment section and write me an essay complaining that the TTK in Call of Duty should be fast, just hit your shots. Everyone had to get good and adapt for you and every other Modern Warfare game, so you can suck it up for a little bit and maybe just hit more than 2 shots. Next, I want to talk about the strafe animations. When an enemy strafes, their entire upper body leans and tilts in the direction they're moving. And for one, it looks ridiculous, but that's not really the issue I have. It makes it significantly harder to land your headshots if you're on mouse and keyboard. This next one might be a hot take, but I think Sledgehammer really needs to take a serious look at their map design, and I think the game would play dramatically better if they went in and limited the amount of areas that you could climb on. The maps used to play well in the original Modern Warfare 2 because you couldn't climb on everything and see across the whole map, and this has kind of broken the defined sections and lanes that made the maps play so well previously. The second issue the maps have is for some reason that you get stuck on almost every corner, and I don't know why, but it seems to be a common issue in every map in the game. Up next on the list is the weapon progression that we talked about previously. I don't have a lot of hope that this will ever change, but unlocking attachments and gear needs to return to proper leveling systems instead of having to complete daily challenges for each item. Why do I need to do 3 challenges to unlock Dead Silence or a sight? It makes no sense. I like daily challenges and they should be in the game, just don't gatekeep useful parts of the game locked behind them. Moving on, I want to talk a little bit about content I want to see from the game in the future. The launch maps are a great start, but a lot of us have already played them so many times. How many times can we play Rust before it gets old? I'd love to see the movement in this game on maps that were designed just for this release. I really hope we get good original maps coming in future seasons because for a lot of people, this game is going to get stale. Not only have we seen these maps before, but this game feels like an improved version of the last title, and while I didn't buy or play it, many people did, and it just doesn't quite feel unique enough yet. Sledgehammer and Call of Duty haven't mentioned it, but I really hope we see the return of Gunfight with proper maps for the mode. I'd be so happy if they brought back Gunfight Tournament from Black Ops Cold War. For me, it's the perfect balance between pubs and ranked. It's not as serious as ranked, but it gives you a reason to care, something to play for. One of the biggest challenges affecting both casual players as well as pro players is matchmaking. To better understand why it ruins Call of Duty, click here.